Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be going over the V2.0 patch notes here in NBA 2K25, specifically my team, but also looking at the gameplay patch notes and maybe looking at some of the other ones as well. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 40,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day. Tons of consistent daily my team content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. So these patch notes do look like they change a pretty good variety of things and hopefully will improve the gameplay in several different ways. Now, will that be the case? We will have to wait and see, but I do hope so. Before we hop into it, if you, well, you know what? I think I already said that. So let's hop right into it and let's talk about these patch notes. So we have general patch notes, gameplay patch notes, the city and my career, which I'm not going to go over, but if you're interested in those, they're there as well. And then the my team patch notes and the my NBA eras, my GM, the dub, and PC patch notes, which also I will not be going over. But if you're interested in finding all this stuff, getting the game updates from 2K, all that, that's going to be in their Discord, just so you know. So that's where this stuff is found. And I don't know if general patch notes really matter. I'm not sure if any of this stuff is actually specifically applicable to us. Like, I'm looking at this and I don't think it looks as if any of these things actually matter. Changes to the rotation timeline will now properly save when adjusting from the create to the rotation timeline. I don't even know what that means, to be completely honest. I don't think that has anything to do specifically with my team. I don't think I see anything in these general patch notes that actually matter. Player scans, tattoo updates, hair updates, hairstyle and likeness updates, yeah, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Let's look at the gameplay patch notes and then the my team patch notes. That is the stuff that I think is applicable to us as a my team community. Now, first things first, made various adjustments to reduce the effectiveness of pass steals, including toning down unrealistic catches when close to the passer and blind catches facing the wrong way. Both of those things are good. Interceptor has been a little bit too good. You will get stupid wide receiver animations that are those unrealistic steals. The blind catches have been a little bit of a problem, and it's unrealistic catches where they'll get a steal, they'll tip the pass when they're literally right in front of you and you're throwing the pass out the court and they manage to steal it. That's also a bit unrealistic. I think that turning down interceptor slightly is actually a good thing and will help offense a bit. So that's something I do like. They also improved the shot contest logic, so you get more reliable coverage scores for both perimeter and interior defense. Hand down situations, which is when you have your right stick down, will no longer register as tight. Open shots received a slight buff to maintain balance. So I guess shooting is now a little bit easier. When it comes to open shots, I guess that means open layups, open three-pointers, open everything, I guess. Open shots, it doesn't say open layups or anything specific. Well, it'd be interesting to see if that's actually a slight buff or if it's a significant buff. We'll be interested to see how that works. But the hand-down situations, hands-down defense has actually been a pretty good thing this season because your players will jump when you go hands up, but now you're not going to get tight contests unless your hands up, so you're going to have to decide whether or not it's worth that risk of playing hands down and not getting as good of a contest, or playing hands up, getting a better contest, but also risking jumping. It'll be interesting to see how that works. Improved responsiveness when dribbling or shooting with the pro stick, and the reduced delays with catch and shoot. So that will improve rhythm shooting, which of course rhythm shooting needed to be improved. It looks like rhythm shooting is just they said, screw y'all, we don't care if you don't like rhythm shooting, you need to learn how to rhythm shoot. That's basically what it sounds like they're doing this year. And you know what, it is what it is. So here we are. I would recommend learning how to rhythm shoot if you haven't already. Now, what I am more excited about that message specifically is that hopefully will improve dribbling as well, because chaining together moves can be a little bit inconsistent. You have to be very precise with the timing of moves this year. Otherwise, they just won't trigger correctly or won't chain together correctly at all. So hopefully that will make dribbling a little bit easier and a little bit more responsive and a little bit more effective. That would be nice, because I think 2K could use improvements to dribbling, because shot creation isn't great, but without a defined burst, especially with no Darius Garland dribble style in my team on basically any cards, that will hurt things. Fix an exploit that made low post fades overly effective. That was something that wasn't really getting exploited in my team the way that it was in Park, but yes, low post fades were a glitch, so that's something that is good to be changed. Repaired some dribble move branches, including the 720 spin glitch and unwanted double hesitation moves from triple threat. I'll be honest, I don't know what exactly those are, but I think the double hesitation moves from triple threat might be good, because you do one hesi and then it makes you do another one. I don't know. That I think will be good, because I feel like that's happened to me a few times where I've been trying to shoot a three and it makes me do another hesi and it throws off the timing of my shot. So that's something that's a nice little change, I guess, if there were some dribble issues. Standing floaters will now properly use the close shot rating, while driving floaters will use a weighted average of the higher between driving layup and close shot. Okay. Restricted post spin shots to live dribble situations to prevent double dribble violations, and fixed an unrelated issue that allowed double dribbles to occur in the post without a violation being called. Okay. A slight nerf was made to deep post drop step effectiveness. I kind of like this. I think drop stepping has been really, really good in the paint, and I think it's a little bit too good, and it's kind of obnoxious to play against somebody who's got Will Chamberlain, who's just going to drop step your center every single play under the rim, and it is obnoxious, and it is kind of impossible to stop, especially because they call fouls on stripping the drop step half the time. So that is something that I think is nice. Falling face down shot landings will only trigger when hit from behind. Okay. That's fine. I don't really care about that. Tuned catch collisions to improve animation coverage and have them play in more appropriate situations. I'm not entirely sure what that's even referencing totally. Improved the ball attachment logic, particularly when starting a dunk or layup mid-dribble. I'm honestly not even entirely sure what that's referencing either. So, okay. Added support to scale takeover meter progress differently for short quarters and modes without a game clock, such as triple threat in MyTEAM. My hope is that short quarters includes like 4-minute, 5-minute quarters like in MyTEAM, because takeover does not ever get activated, pretty much. It only activates. It's very rare that you actually are able to get a player cooking enough to get takeover this year. And so I think that would be good, because it makes takeovers actually a little bit more meaningful if they actually trigger. So hopefully that means in Showdown as well, not just in Triple Threat, but in Showdown, takeovers trigger easier, because that would be nice to actually make takeovers matter a little bit. That would be cool. Fixed an issue where the 2K camera flip would get confused on the direction of a play when a turnover happened immediately after a rebound. That's something that only happened to me a few times. When it did, it was kind of annoying, but it really didn't matter that much. But you know what? It's nice to see it fixed regardless. Manually selected defensive matches will no longer reset after a timeout is called. That is a huge change and a very, very good one. I am a big, big fan of defensive matchups no longer resetting. And I think as a whole, that's a W, 100%. I am a fan of that, because the glitching of matchups after timeouts was just super annoying this year. Adjusted one of Jordan Clarkson's step back jumpers to prevent unrealistic initial dribble speed. I don't know what that was. Updated Devin Booker's post shimmy fade package. Okay. Changed Mark Williams' signature jump shot to be valid for big men only. That's not a MyTEAM issue. Your player will now break out of a go-to shot if moved too far from the shot marker in certain drills. That's also not a MyTEAM issue. Fixed an issue that made self alley-oops very difficult to complete in the dunk contest. Not a MyTEAM issue. And fixed a scoring bug in the dunk contest that would incorrectly award points on missed dunks. Also not a MyTEAM issue. So there you go. Some good gameplay changes there. Some tweaks to interceptor. Some tweaks to the pro stick, which unfortunately kind of nerf or buff rhythm shooting probably even more, to be honest, which means rhythm shooting is the way. But some other good things like no more matchup glitching and improvements to takeover and improved shot contest logic, hopefully, so that tights aren't going to go in as much. Things of that nature would be nice. Now, let's look at the actual MyTEAM news. Challenges will now be filtered to the selected category rather than showing all seasonal, lifetime, and other challenge types in a single list. That's good. Awards for completed challenges must now be claimed from the challenge menu before appearing in unopened packs or receiving MyTEAM points and MyTEAM rep. Okay. Made improvements to the in-game and pause menu trackers for active challenges. That's good. Clutch time challenge games will now display win conditions on the score overlay in game. That's good. Addressed an issue where stat tracking challenge games could fail to complete. That's good. So once you finish a challenge, it will not track the challenge anymore. So that's good. Exchanges. They added support for unauctionable cards to be added to exchanges that support them. That's cool. That makes exchanges easier to complete if you can add unauctionable cards to them. That's nice. Certain card themes like season rewards will be still restricted from the exchange. That makes sense. Duplicates of the same card can now be added to an exchange at the same time. That's just a nice little quality of life update. No complaints there whatsoever for me. I do like that. The auction house. Player auction listings with a shoe card applied will now display the applied takeover name. Not a massively important change, but a nice one nonetheless. In-game, the gameplay HUD's visibility can now be toggled during gameplay by pressing up on the D-pad, and more importantly, in multiplayer games, the opponent's customized HUD settings will no longer override the local player settings for ball handler text, which means if you have your HUD on, your opponent, you'll be able to see where they are on defense, and you'll be able to see their HUD even if they have theirs turned off. It will only apply, your HUD setting will only apply to you, not to them, or well, it will apply to both of y'all. I apologize. Not just to you is what I meant to say. So that's a good change. That's something because a lot of people are annoyed about the HUD. They fixed that. That's good. Addressed an issue with camera settings and triple threat modes not being saved. Okay. Ensured coast boosts would apply after all rematches in single player modes. Cool. Gatekeeper spots now will display the prize points required when selected. Okay. Gatekeeper games will now have an overlay display before starting, which includes the full prize name. That's also good. You just don't, so it doesn't automatically put you in the game when you start a gatekeeper game on breakout. Triple Threat Park. Dynamic duos and evolved player cards will now appear correctly in the Triple Threat Park pregame reveals. Cool. Fix an issue that could prevent a Triple Threat Park game from counting towards the daily win streaks. Cool. My player height will now be accurately represented on the Triple Threat Park sidelines with added protections to prevent them from getting on the court. Okay, cool. Next, icon pass to the teammate nearest the hoop is now enabled in Triple Threat Park. Defensive matchups can now be adjusted during Triple Threat Park. Very cool. Enabled who to guard switching by holding the pass/change player button on defense in Triple Threat Park games, aka X switching is now able to be done in Triple Threat Park. That is a big change because you couldn't X switch in Park and it was annoying, and now you can, so that's cool. Games played in Triple Threat Park will now contribute to player card stats. That's fine. Various other improvements have been made to spectating games in Triple Threat Park. Okay. Showdown. Detailed descriptions of the weekly prizes in the Showdown menu have been added. That is pretty cool. That will be something that'll be nice. Fixed user report issues to the Showdown leaderboard stats. Okay. And then for King of the Court, fixed the number of games required for the King of the Court qualification in the Showdown menu. Cool. Updated eligible player status text from not started to qualified in the King of the Court menu. So now when you look at King of the Court, it will say qualified when you are in. And then locked in player cards can now be sent on exhibition missions. It looks like the last one, I think. Oh, there's one more page. Sorry. But locked in player cards being able to be sent on exhibitions is important. So that's good. So now you can do exhibitions again. Moved exhibition mission duration to the player selection screen to better differentiate between available missions and ones already started. Cool. Added measures to prevent autofill lineups from having duplicate players in the lineup. Interesting. Enabled custom on the fly lineups. You can now set those up in the edit lineup coaching tab, coach game plan menu. That's cool. So you can actually fully edit your coach game plan on the fly lineups like entirely. So it should allow for a bit more flexibility. I'm not entirely sure what was broken with that, but that's good. Various other improvements have been made to coach game plan settings. I don't know what those other improvements are, but cool. Additional fixes. Fixed an issue that prevented player cards from being sorted by overall in the collection menu. That's not something I noticed, but okay. In Domination, the selected difficulties required score differential has been added to the pause menu challenge checker. See, that's a W. Improvements have been made to most scrimmage and practice plays in the training hub. Changed the default difficulty of freestyle shoot around to pro. 4-pointers will now accurately contribute to plus minus and other stats. Prevented the menus from being unresponsive in rare cases after completing the MyTEAM tutorials or redeeming multiple shattered prize awards. Addressed visual issues that could occur in Ascension. Okay, well there you go. That is the changes. A lot of good changes there. No HUD is now patched. Interceptor is going to be tuned down. Contests should be better. Open shot should go in more. Hopefully that means tights will go in less as well. Looks as though there's been a slight buff to open shooting in general. Rhythm shooting also looks to have received a slight buff because it's going to just be more smoother and more responsive. Hopefully that means dribbling plays a bit more responsive as well. And a variety of other changes as well. But overall, some pretty good changes as a whole for the Season 2 patches that I can tell. Will it save the gameplay? We'll see. I don't think the gameplay is in an awesome state right now still. As we get better cards, better SIGs as the year progresses, I do think it will get better because we're so limited in terms of the actual shot creation we can do right now. But as a whole, I am excited to see what this season is going to look like. And it looks like there's going to be some solid improvements from this gameplay. So hopefully the game now plays a bit better. With that being said, hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.